Yep, totally messed that up again. Oh, let's do that. That's fun. And away we go. Welcome to the pickup meeting. Silence your group chats, pretend you're on a deadline, and act like you're reading something very important right now, because you kind of are. It's the pickup meeting. I'm Kevin Thomas, and across from me is the man who makes every room 15% more fun just by walking in it, Brody Bro Shears.
15%? That's pretty low.
What do you want from me? I gave you 15%.
I guess. Are you buying something on sale that's 15% off?
Yeah, for sure.
Are?
Well, it depends what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
But 15% more fun.
Oh, okay.
Fine. 50% more fun. Brody Bro Shears. Here we go.
That's way better. I like that.
It's ridiculous. Hey, so we have a podcast and people are listening to it.
They are.
And recently we crossed 6,000 downloads, listens, or views, and it's a growing trend of views. So apparently we are funny to look at. I don't know what that is, but here we are, and I'm really excited about that. How good is that?
It's amazing. We're closing out on hitting all of the states too. We just have a few states left. I think we should make fun of them.
Yes, we should absolutely make fun of the states that are not listening. So let's start this fun adventure.
Yeah.
Vermont.
Come on.
What's going on?
I mean, Ben and Jerry's, right? Like, someone ought to be listening.
Yeah. Listen, if you're not leaf peeping, you should be listening to the pickup meeting. What's going on, Vermont?
And Idaho, supposed to be great. I mean, potatoes are amazing. Fries, let's go.
Okay, I just put it together. This is happening because I don't like potatoes.
What?
I know. I mean, I've started to eat more potatoes recently. Like, I've started to do the baked potato, but in general, I don't really like fries a lot, and I don't really eat a lot of mashed potatoes. It's just not my thing.
How are we friends? How is that possible?
It's such a weird thing. I know.
Potato chips and fries are probably my two favorite foods.
I understand, but that's probably why we're not getting Idaho. And then last but certainly not least, Alaska. What are you doing? It's dark up there. You could listen to a podcast. Actually, I have no idea if it's dark there right now. I don't know what time of the year it is. It's not. I see our guest off screen tell us it's not dark right now. Okay, it's lit there. Start listening to the pickup meeting. Let's go.
That might be my fault because I don't eat any seafood at all, right? Like, so salmon. So maybe we can blame me for that.
You know, my good friend and future podcast guest, and I'm willing to send to existence, Brian Hayes, him and his family are on an Alaskan cruise right now. And my only hope is that he decided to listen to the pickup meeting while he's on the cruise. Then we get the Alaskan listener. Yeah, that's what it is.
That would be great.
Hey, truthfully, seriously, minus those three states, which will forever live in the bane of our existence. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of the show. When we started this, it was like, well, are people going to engage? And they have. And so I'm really thankful that that's the case.
Yeah, it kind of gets to our first topic, which is,
Oh, no. Don't jump.
Oh.
This is where I throw in the secret topic.
Oh,
so a recent listener, or not a recent listener, she's been listening all along, but one of my colleagues, Brittany Montgomery, was telling me this story. And Brittany, thank you for listening, is a new mother. And so she listens in her car with her newborn, Bill. Bill is the baby. And right. Brody, you don't know this, but Bill cries when you start talking on the pickup meeting.
You're kidding me.
I mean, not really. No, this is a thing that happens. So like, he's just sitting in the car, looking at the sky. Look how beautiful it is. And then all of a sudden, Brody Bro Shears starts talking and Bill starts crying. And I think that's amazing.
Well, there are lots of people who don't like my voice. That's for sure. So let's just add another one to the list.
Right. Bill knows to be scared. So I was at least going to throw that in as well. But you're welcome to transition to our first topic.
My kids didn't cry when I talked when they were babies. At least, there's that.
This one is. So we're just going to let you know that one.
Well, and speaking of doing things that are fun, like this podcast, like the power of collective joy, or a hobby that's just for us, right? We were talking about this the other day, right? What are some things maybe that we just do for the sake of doing them, right? We don't have to be good at them. It's not something that we're automatically striving for. And the first thing that came to my mind was this podcast.
I know.
I mean, we're not any good, but look at us. We're still doing it.
Yeah. We're nearly a year in, and this is still happening.
Yeah. We have thousands of listeners, well, maybe hundreds of listeners that are listening to us thousands of times, but we're not smartless.
No, we're not good looking enough to be smartless.
Or good hang or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, listen, the things of just like the collective joy of something. I've said this to folks often, and some of those have been people that have been on the show. I was talking to Tara Warden this week. I was talking to Dana Zahark, previous guest, John Vasquez. And they asked, like, what's something that's just a good joy of your week? And you and I spend time together outside of the podcast as well. And those calls are usually lengthier and have more foul language in them. But we do have a good time in those calls. But this podcast has become one of those just like real joys of our time and our week together. And it kind of breaks up the stress and angst that comes with some of the things we deal with in our job.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think it's good to have those things. Wasn't it Vonnegut who said that being good at things isn't the reason to do them? It's for the sheer joy. I think he was the person that said that.
Are there other things that hit on that besides the podcast?
Yeah, I was thinking of two things, and one isn't really an activity, but the first one is an activity. I've been running most of my adult life. I don't win races. I'm not winning any races. And I do try to get better, but I love running. And I've mostly run by myself. I'm kind of a lone wolf, right? I use that time to recharge and kind of listen to the music that I want to listen to. And I have gotten better, and I read about running and try to learn as much as I can about becoming a better runner. But there's no real KPI or performance review. It's just going out and getting it done. How about you?
Yeah, this question is a hard one for me. And I think a lot back to your presentation that you do for happiness, where you start to yell at the audience members when they start to tell them, like that their kids are what make them happy, or that, their grandkids. And then you yell a lot in this presentation. Like it's a little out of control if we're being honest. But I was thinking back to this, is that I have to find more of these things that are the collective joy. And as strange as this is, because I feel like I'm becoming you, walking in steps has been like, I enjoy my walk as much as I possibly can. Like, it is a healthy thing. Like last Sunday, I got up, did 6 miles before it was like 8:30 in the morning, and but then had music on the whole time. So the music part of this, and I will say the music part, like I'm plugged in almost at all times right now, and found myself on Saturday night at Kroger doing some grocery shopping, listening to music. And all of a sudden I catch myself that I am singing in Kroger and probably dancing a little bit in the aisle. And I was like, what is happening? But it was a collective joy moment for me. And so I felt really good about where I was at that moment. And it wasn't the ice cream aisle. It was like a random, like protein bar aisle or something. I don't know. But
I do a little dancing and moving when I have my headphones in too. I find that music while I'm walking and running are really powerful tools to keep me motivated, for sure.
I just want other people to be hearing what I'm hearing, and that just not the way it works. So
you mentioned something else that was a topic that we were going to talk about, and that was grocery shopping. So you're grocery shopping now. And we were talking about like I was having this conversation with a couple colleagues yesterday, and I'm like, we need to talk about this on the episode. And it is like, what are our chores? Like, what is it that we do in the house? Like, I'm the laundry guy at my house. I despise odd socks. I'm really anal about the detergents and what I'm washing together, but it's been my thing. Like, I do the laundry at the house. It is my chore. Do you have a chore like that too?
Yeah. And, you and I talked about this in kind of prep of this, and this episode will release later in the summer. We're in early June. So recently, I went through a divorce and am divorced. And so, like, the thing that I would have said prior to that was I did the laundry. Sunday was laundry day, right? Like, I'm doing all the laundry in the house for everybody, and I love doing some laundry. And now I would say I'm doing a lot of everything else too, right? It's like,
are you any good at it? Like,
I mean, I don't think I'm good at grocery shopping. You and I are talking about our journey on steps and physical activity and weight loss. And I'm really ticking you off every time we have this conversation, because I'm like, I'm weighing in at this amount. And you're like, you're pissing me off, right? Like, that's where you're getting to. It's probably because I'm not great at the grocery shopping yet. And I'm buying very little and getting by with very little. And so it's like, I lost 3 pounds this week. And you're like, yeah, it's because you're not eating anything, Kevin. Like, you should do more grocery shopping. Yeah. But I think I'm doing okay at the grocery shopping. I'm doing still excellent at the laundry. Like, sign me up, give me the gold medal. You and I would compete for that gold medal.
I agree with that.
And I got to do a little bit better at just the life organization and cleanliness of things. And not that my apartment's dirty. It's just I need to probably clean more often. Although I am washing things probably more frequently than ever before, just out of complete and total boredom.
I liked mowing the lawn, and I was always the trash guy. The dishes and the cooking, that kind of evaded me for the most part. I mean, I will do dishes. I do not enjoy that. But I'm trying to think. The only thing that I really always hated was the bathroom. Like, come on, stay away from there.
Yeah, I get that. I will say, living in the apartment, been in it for about 3 months now. I have only run the dishwasher once, and that was just to make sure the thing worked.
Wow, you're clearly not eating enough.
Well, I'm washing dishes. Like, I clearly don't have enough dishes per meal to really ever use the dishwasher. That's where I've gotten to.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And for the record, Kevin, I don't yell at anybody in my happiness conversations, presentations. What are we talking about?
Listeners, you can write in at the pickupmeeting@gmail.com. If you were in the audience at a recent Administrators Institute and received the scolding that Brody gave you when he said, your happiness cannot be determined based off of your kids. Yes, that was my Brody impersonation.
It wasn't very good.
Sorry, I don't know how to do you without like some cursing occurring. I was cleaning it up for the audience. I don't want to get yelled at again for cursing.
That's great. Well, maybe we should bring on our guest. What do you think?
I think we should. And so I am exceptionally happy today to welcome our guest to the show, Dr. Kristy Firebaugh, Assistant Provost for Student Success at the University of Denver, or strangely, as we're going to use the rest of this pickup meeting, DU, which doesn't seem right. But Kristy, we're so pumped that you're here and with us today.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm a fan of the show, so it's really great that you reached out, Kevin, and nice to reconnect after several years. It feels like a lifetime since the Administrators Institute, but really it was only a few years ago.
I know. And really the last time we connected, we would have still been masking.
I think so. And I also remember it was in Albuquerque and the hotel was barely reopened. I couldn't figure out where to get coffee. And it was just strange. Everybody was trying to figure out how to come back to life. But it was, for those who haven't been to the Administrators Institute, they did not pay me to say this, but it was excellent. It was so good. It was so helpful. It was full of those conversations. And Kevin, I remember you were one of them that you know how you go to a conference and you talk to somebody and you're you have this great in-depth conversation with somebody you've never met before and might never talk to again. But I remember having several of those at that institute, and Kevin, you were one of them. So I'm so glad that you reached out. It was a great opportunity. It was a great experience. So,
Brody, we were in New Mexico, and I kid you not, one day it was 75, and then the next day it snowed 2 inches, and then it was gone by the lunch.
What?
I don't understand. I didn't know that it snowed in New Mexico. Apparently it does, but
it does.
I did not know.
Yeah. We get that too here though in Denver. There are some days there are days we actually had a snow day. It was about a month ago. Campus closed. By the afternoon, it dumped snow in the morning, and by the afternoon it was 60 degrees and everything had melted. And I was out on a walk with my kids because everybody was like, why did we cancel school? Well, 8 hours earlier, it was a blizzard. So,
Kevin, were you at Phoenix, the annual conference in Phoenix in 2018? I don't know if you remember this, but one of the days it rained 2 inches. And it was like the worst news in the history of Phoenix, Arizona. Like they had flood warnings. People didn't know how to drive because
they were closing schools.
It was nuts. Remember that?
Yeah. And I was like, hey, this is a sprinkle, folks. Like, what's happening?
I mean, the hotel, they had the concierges with like ponchos and umbrellas. I'm like, I'm just walking 500 yards, gang. I'm going to be okay.
Kristy, so like one of the things, your title and my title have some similarity in that, mine says that I'm in charge of student success, which is super intimidating and overwhelming most days. But can you tell the audience about what your portfolio of amazingness looks like?
Sure. I think ours are a little different. So at DU, student success incorporates a few things in terms of what my area includes. So I sit within the Provost office. I know student success roles sit in different places around different campuses. The central academic advising teams are part of our team. So we have a central office of academic advising. I also get to work with or oversee our athletic advisors, which is really fun. And then I have and I guess I'll call them an operations team where we're doing analytics, retention work, student outreach, a lot of reporting and initiatives. So there's a whole lot of behind the scenes machinery happening with our team. So we've kind of got these 3 different areas. And then probably like both of your jobs, a lot of my job is figuring out collaboration without necessarily having folks reporting to me, but thinking about how do we improve and ensure that our students are all able to have excellent experiences across the board. So that's a lot of working with partners all over campus to make sure that that's the case as much as we can.
So this is a completely self-serving follow-up to this, and it depending on the answer, and I don't know where this can go, it could be a clip that I'm going to use with my athletic director. If your teams that you work with would happen to win a conference championship, are you in the group that gets a ring?
No, I'm not. Look at what I got though. I got a bobblehead.
Oh, see, that's cool. I don't think
I was like,
bobblehead.
This is awesome. So I know.
Kevin, don't you?
I mean, I have my own personal bobblehead, but I don't have a UCA bobblehead. Like somebody made a bobblehead of me, and I was like, are you saying I have a large melon? Actually, the person that did was the person that has the baby that cries when they hear you, Brody. And so same person. Same person. But yeah, I was just curious because my role is semi-new on the campus. And so I was like, athletics reports to me, or the student athlete success team reports to me. I feel like there's championship rings that should be there. And so I was going to use that clip, but it didn't work out.
Oh, dang. Well, I mean, we could just re-record and then we could both use it so that we can both get rings.
I like it. We have some successful teams there. So
we do.
All right, Brody, you move on. The self-serving part
is this is great. You guys sort it out, right? I mean, we almost won a national championship. I oversee our here at Illinois State University. I oversee our athletic advising team, and I didn't get anything. In fact, I'm not. Yeah, it's just the way it is.
You should ask for a bobblehead.
I should ask for a bobblehead.
And I forgot for our audience that every time Brody or I mention an institution that we previously worked at, that there's going to be a sounder from now on. And I forgot to do it when you said your institution. It should have went, and it didn't. And so we're working on this. And so just making sure the audience is picking up on our new trend here.
Are you Pavlov dogging me so I don't say it?
Yes.
Oh, you're the worst, man. Like, what's happening today? What did I do to deserve this?
Oh, wow.
I know, it's getting aggressive.
Let's get serious for Pete's sake. Come on.
This is what happens when Matt doesn't produce today. An audience I'm producing today. This is a terribly entertaining a moment.
So,
Kristy, we're going to get to you now, though, because
Okay.
this is like Smartless, where they never talk to the guests and they just talk to each other.
You do what you need to do.
So, Kristy, I'm really interested because I think there are a couple things. We talk about developing those collaborative relationships when there isn't an authority, but really a necessity to do the good work that institutions do. What's been your strategy to be good at that?
Oh, wow. Practice, I think. I think some of it is asking what they need, what issues other people are seeing, what's top of mind in their world, and then how can I partner to help them meet their goals, which we're all at a university. Their goal is to support students. So thinking about where the commonalities are tends to be the place that where we can collaborate. So I'm thinking about, whether I'm collaborating with student affairs or with our admissions team, everybody is here trying to make sure that our students, don't have unnecessary roadblocks, have support when they need it, have a really great experience while they're here and feel connected. So depending on who I'm trying to work with, if there's a issue that we're trying to work out or a process we're trying to improve, really it's starting with like, what are you hearing from your view into students and how can we work together to make that better? So this is something that I started doing early in my role in this position. We noticed that our students' onboarding experience, so after they deposited, but before orientation was over, there was a lot of room for improving how we communicated with students in that time period, because we had communications coming from lots of different places. Everybody on campus wants to talk to those students, which is awesome. But we needed, and there was a lot of sense of people didn't really know, like, what's admissions doing right now? What are advisors telling students? Yeah. So we pulled together a steering committee where I brought in admissions, the registrar's office, our advising team, our first year seminar faculty director, and our orientation team. And we meet every 2 weeks throughout the year. And housing. And we meet every 2 weeks throughout the year to make sure that our communications are saying the things they need to, that students know where to go, that our website, that the most confusing parts of the website get updated. So just meeting every 2 weeks throughout the year has allowed us to focus on that, but it also has helped build relationships when there's other issues we're trying to address that maybe I was just talking to the housing director yesterday about a different issue, but we've built that relationship through trying to improve that experience of onboarding students.
How do we could just talk about this topic the entire time.
I know, because that consistency matters so much, right, Kevin?
Right. Well, and I think this is an area where I will say that there's struggles on campuses I've been on, including in things that I've done. How do you ensure that this conversation doesn't become a report out, right? Like we've all done these student success and retention committees where it's like sit down and everybody's like, well, this is what we're doing this week. And so then I think people leave frustrated and with great angst. Like, how do you ensure that a group like that, because what you're talking about at DU is similar to like a model that the University of Kentucky started with people getting together, and now they stream this thing to the campus. And so there are hundreds of people that are listening to this meeting so that they stay informed on what's going, which I'm always super impressed by, but super intimidated how to get there.
Yes. And I read that article about Kentucky and I was like, oh my gosh, how do they get that many people to show up? Because there's been other areas of my job where I've been in committees that start off very action oriented, especially around retention and student success. Yeah. We launch a couple of we identify some issues, we launch some really cool things, people are collaborating, and then the need evolves and it starts turning into report outs. And so I've had a couple that have just they've served their initial purpose and then they've gone defunct because people stop showing up, or it just it's clearly not serving it's not meeting the same need that it was at the beginning, which sometimes that's totally fine. I think the thing that has kept this group going though is it's the right people that combine both strategy and tactics. So we're both saying did the newsletter go out? Did it include the right content? here's a trend we're seeing, this content has to go in, here's the person to get us that. But then it's also a group that is forward thinking about, you know what we really need on a 3 to 5 year timeline is a better way to integrate data so that we can do predictive modeling on yield a little bit better, right? So I think some of it is really the people that are there, and the fact that we can that it's both tactics and strategy. So it kind of bounces. Some meetings, it is kind of a quick report out and we're done in 15 minutes. Other times we go the full hour with a topic that wasn't even on our agenda, but it ended up being the thing that we really need to be talking about. So, and I think because, this every year it's a different group of students. So there's always something a little bit different that we need to be thinking about in that year. So I have been in versions of the meeting that, or the committee that really turn into report outs, and I just stop them after a certain point because it's not serving the purpose that makes it a priority for people to be there, which that's okay. That means something else needs to happen.
That's right. You've moved through a variety of roles at DU. So I'm interested in this piece too, right? So how, from teaching to managing the budgets to now overseeing university-wide initiatives, how did seeing the ground level of a department change how you've approached central administration?
I think it was so important to start how I did. I actually came here for my PhD. I came here as a graduate student. And while I was, finishing my coursework and working on my dissertation, I started teaching. I was teaching in the writing program and in the English department. But I also wanted, I was trying to think about what my career steps were going to look like, and my degree's in English. The job market for English PhDs isn't so awesome right now. And I knew, by that point, I knew that we wanted to stay in Denver. And I also really started thinking about what do I love about that? And it was really working with students, but I started thinking maybe it doesn't have to be in a tenure track teaching role. So what would I need to do to figure out what do staff do at universities? Sure. And I became a department assistant for our gender and women's studies program, because part of what I knew I needed to learn was how does this place work and how do budgets work? Which, English major, I avoided anything having to do with money or math. So I was I need experience. And that was great. I got to work with students. I got to, do some advising, work with them directly, work directly with faculty, start understanding how do you run a department? How does this thing work? And a position opened up in the dean's office, and it was working on graduate admissions. And I took that role, and then the role evolved and grew a few different times. And I was in the dean's office for 7 years. And through that time, I finished my degree. And my last role there, I was associate dean for academic planning and communications. So I oversaw grad recruitment and admissions, marketing and communications, adjunct and visiting faculty hiring, course scheduling, and then other duties as assigned. And it was, and it was for the biggest and most complex college on campus. And I think that when, I had to focus on many different things. I had many different audiences that I was focusing on. And when I started working with the person who was in my role now, I was like, oh, that's a really cool job. They just get to focus on students. Students are the center of everything. Yes. If that person ever leaves, that's the job I want. So I got lucky, and I worked really hard to make sure that, I had the experience that I would need to be able to be a good applicant for this position, and it worked out. So I think, I think I've had too much coffee because I haven't even answered your question yet.
I think you're getting there.
But I think understanding, when I say, okay, I need everybody in the academic units to do a thing, I know what that actually means for the person who has to do the thing, whether it's write the email or call the students or put the thing into the student data system. I think in some of the work that I'm involved in now, some of what we do is oversee our student success technology and, train on best practices and expectations. I think it makes me a bit more aware, perhaps, of what that ask really means to the staff and the faculty that I'm asking to do work, and knowing that being asked to do a lot. So I want to be really intentional and really sure that I believe the thing that I'm asking them to do is actually going to make a difference for students.
That's fantastic. You got there, and it was a great response.
Yeah, it might still be true on the coffee front. We don't know, right?
Yeah.
I'm like 4 sodas in, and I had coffee this morning too. Like, let's go.
All right.
That journey that you've had, though, I think has allowed you to see the lens in an interesting way. And so then I think it really gets down to the reality that we're all living right now, which is higher education is changing rapidly, and policies written 10, 20, 30 years ago don't always fit with the modern student or the modern faculty member. So how do you balance the need for bureaucratic, consistency in your role with the need to be nimble and innovative in today's higher education experience?
Whew.
I know.
Oh my gosh. I think some of it is listening. So when we ask if there are things that we're hearing from staff or faculty that are either like, this thing is stupid and I don't want to do it, and I don't think it makes a difference, that tells me that either I have not communicated effectively on why it's important, or I don't have evidence that it's actually making a difference. So some of it is thinking about how do we assess our work, which we do really regularly. I'm a big proponent of assessment and making sure that everything we're doing is worth everyone's time. Some of it is also like paying attention to trends and what we're seeing in students. So like we have an academic exceptions process. If we see increasing numbers of students coming asking for exceptions to a specific process, that is a signal that maybe we need to look at that process overall. And I think there's also like these kind of, there's always these kind of unwritten policies or processes or options for students that I think we've tried really hard to make explicit because, you know, it gets at the hidden curriculum. If you don't know to ask about the secret policy because maybe you don't have the background or prep for college to know to ask that, that's actually inequitable for students. So in my first couple of years here, one of the things that we did was I took a look at our academic standards policy for probation, suspension, and dismissal. And there were some processes that weren't as data-driven as they could have been. And there was language in our policy that wasn't fully explained to students. So public-facing information that kind of told students, like, here is what happens if you don't meet, GPA requirements. It just wasn't clear enough. And so we ended up with students who were unclear, advisors, faculty, and staff who weren't super clear on how to advise a student in that certain situation. So we went on a very deep dive and really tried to clean up. We looked at a lot of data on outcomes, and then we looked at how do we clean this up in a way that clarifies this for students and actually clarifies outcomes for that help support students where they need the right support. So, yeah,
the secret hidden things, to me, it doesn't matter if we're talking higher education policy or just life in general. Brody, we're big baseball guys, and they always talk about these hidden rules of baseball. Annoys the daylights out of me. But that doesn't make me near as mad as when somebody goes, "Oh, well, that's a hidden item on the restaurant menu." Why is there a hidden item on the restaurant menu?
I thought you were going to say hidden policy.
No, the hidden policy
totally off the rails.
But there for a while, I'm going to give you an example because we're just off the rails today. I'm going to give you an example. Listen, there for a while, the omelet at Cracker Barrel was a hidden item on the restaurant menu. And then I went to go order it because I knew it was a hidden one. And they're like, no, we got rid of that. You got rid of the hidden thing? Like, that can't be. Like, this is insane. This episode is also insane.
Well, it just makes me feel bad. Like, what if other people know about the hidden thing and then I'm not cool enough to know about the hidden thing at the restaurant?
And our policies for sure shouldn't be that.
Exactly. So.
And look, so I'll be serious for 1 second. That has real implications for students.
Yeah.
If I had kids that went to college and they went to college where I was working. And if something stupid happened, they just came to me and said, this is something stupid. And I'd say, well, you need to fix it. Here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. That's one thing. But if a first generation college student runs into that same issue, they start to think, I can't figure this out. I don't belong here. And now they don't even address the issue that they are trying to get addressed. And that has real implications for student success work. There's no question about it.
And that makes me think too, one of the other things that I think is really important in staying on top of this as it, just as it evolves over time, is listening to our advisors. The advisors are the ones who notice it first, because they're the ones that are helping students try and figure out, like, they know there's a special secret thing and they're trying to help students navigate that. And so that's something that, like, I let our advising teams know, like, if you're seeing patterns in things like that are issues, that's the kind of thing I want to know about. There's one-offs all the time of every situation under the sun, but it's the patterns of struggle or barriers that then help inform, like, what should we be thinking about and working on, right? Like,
when I talk about meaning making in the advising profession, sometimes I'll talk about how advisors will say things like, I'm just an advisor. And I'm like, no, you're not, right? You are the voice of students to the things that are terrible happening at the institution. You see those things first. And if you leave that voice at the door and you don't ever share that with other folks, or if as supervisors, we don't seek out that information and look to make improvements, it's not a great situation. So I want to move to something, like, I just was thinking about this. Kevin and I were talking about math, and we need to talk about developmental math, because both of us are dealing with some of those kinds of things at our respective institutions. But you're an English, you're an English faculty member. This is going to be very broad and very difficult, but what would you do to fix writing?
I was just talking to a colleague the other day about how
do we fix writing?
I was just talking to a colleague the other day about how I do not envy, I haven't taught in several years, and I'm not actually faculty, but I do not envy the faculty who are teaching writing in particular, but everything in the age of AI. I think our writing department has been really, really proactive and invested in thinking about how do we acknowledge the realities of what AI is doing to writing, and bring that questioning into the classroom as part of learning, or part of learning about writing is thinking about how do you navigate these technologies. As an answer as to how to fix it, help kids read more for fun in grades K through 12.
Good.
Like I think I was just looking at some of I'm working on an institute with our Office of Teaching and Learning for faculty, where we're looking at academic readiness challenges and trends and things that we've seen, and looking at some of the data from what is it called? It's the national, the nation's scorecard, or that report where they're collecting data longitudinally for decades. And the proportion of students of 8th graders and 12th graders who say that they're reading for fun is tanked. Yeah. And there is a clear evidence-based correlation between reading for fun and being a good critical thinker, reader, and writer. So I don't know how to solve that. But I think that figuring out ways to encourage reading younger is part of the answer. I don't know how to fix writing, though. I'm not the expert on that.
I like how your folks aren't ignoring the technology.
Yeah.
But reading more is a good answer. I like that.
I like your hard-hitting question, Brody, that was not on our script. You just went like fully outside of the script. And so I quickly went to our other scripts, and I was like, well, we're not hitting her with like, who's your favorite mentor? And do you like music? Right? Like, we're going hard hitting on Kristy today.
Yeah,
I'm
asking her to completely fix a significant discipline within higher ed that's necessary in all of the fields. Like, come on, Kristy.
I'm gonna be like one of those, you know how you go on those like you go onto a webinar over your lunch and they're like, we're going to talk about the secret key to solving enrollment issues. And you go on and they're like, yeah, they don't know. So I'm sorry, I don't know.
I really thought this was going to be fun. And instead, I mean, come on. I mean, just fix writing for us. Come on.
I think our writing faculty will have some better ideas than me.
And Kevin, now I realized I actually am yelling. Gosh darn it.
You
now
are.
I know why that baby cries.
That's right. That's why you make the baby cry.
It's passion, Brody. That's good.
Very good. Love it. Love it.
All right. So shifting a little bit, you are a member of, or have been a member of Voices Rock, a community choir that you explicitly say is low stakes and just for pure joy and fun for you.
Yes.
In a job like the assistant provost, where stakes are always high and you're responsible for so many moving parts, why is it vital for you to have a space where you can just show up and do something that you enjoy?
Oh my gosh, it's fun. I think there's a few things, and I know you're chatting a bit about this before I came on. I just started doing this, and I was in choir in high school. I was in all the choirs. I don't have a great voice. There's a reason I'm in choir. I sound better when you can't just hear me, but I love it. It feels great. It's fun. It's joyful. And it challenged. So I found this choir, and there's lots of different choirs that are community choirs, and some are more serious. And I was like, I don't know, serious. I just need to go and go and just have fun. And so this is it. They just do like rock songs.
Nice.
And my first practice I went to, like, they handed out the sheet music. They're like, you don't need to know how to read sheet music, but if you can, here you go. And it started coming back to me. I was like, oh, I remember some of this stuff from when I was like 16. It's somewhere buried back there. But the time flew by because you have to focus. I can't be thinking about whatever problem I'm trying to resolve at work. Like, there is no straying from just like super focused, but it's also that, like, I think it's, how they describe flow states. Like, there's some parts of my work where I can get into that when I'm singing and trying to pay attention in choir practice. Like, the same thing happens. I feel like it's done in like 5 minutes, and it's just fun. Like, the first practice we had, our director broke us into 3 parts, and she didn't tell us what we were singing, but she taught us each our parts. And we all started singing, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're singing Hey Jude by the Beatles. Like, it was like that end part that I'm not going to sing, but just like, I will not.
Yeah.
Yes, that part. Yeah. And in that moment, I was like, oh, this is just a group of like 100 people who are my neighbors, who live in my neighborhood that I don't know, that just like doing this for fun. Like, it's wonderful. So,
singing one of the greatest songs ever written, right? Like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, it's great. It's I think it is having things that just bring me pure joy, that are not about like, I mean, I guess there's self-improvement, but it's not about like professional development or working out more or something that I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'm not supposed to be doing, I don't have to be good at it. I'm not supposed to be doing it for my own like benefit. But it's just fun. And I think that that's critical to being able to bring pieces of that back to work so that it's clear, and that I can hopefully model for my team. Like, my team works so hard. And I want to make sure that they have those moments of joy, whether it's in work or outside of work. And so I think modeling that and being able to talk about that helps show that is important for everyone to have.
That's right. Your Voices of Rock is Brody and I with headphones in, dancing in grocery stores and just in random places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The one thing, Kristy, that struck me as you explained that story. So Catherine Price talks about fun. She has this great TED Talk about fun. And the 3 conditions for fun are playfulness, connectedness, and flow. And I was like, oh my God, all 3 of those things were in that story you just told. So
there we go.
It's pretty clear, right, that you're kind of locked in there and having fun. I love that. We also know you're a passionate baker. So I have a question, but I need to know, like, what do you bake that is good that I would
Okay, I can do a couple of things pretty consistently.
Yeah.
I can make a really good chocolate bundt cake. Like, with this like chocolate lava icing and scones. I love scones. I know people have opinions about them, and some people are like, they're dry and weird, and I really like making them. So I actually just planted blackberry bushes at my house because I have this dream that like I'm going to fight the squirrels and birds. I'm going to have some blackberries, and then I'm going to like on the weekends make blackberry scones. So we'll see if it happens.
We have this amazing local coffee place that does a raspberry orange scone, and it's glazed. Yes. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So let's get back. Now I need lunch.
Sorry.
Because you're passionate about baking, I think about baking, as an exact science, right? If your ratios are off, cake doesn't rise, things don't work out. Like, let's move that to administration. Are you an exact recipe administrator, or do you find yourself improvising when ingredients change? Like, how do you balance that out?
That's a really I love the comparison. I think it works nicely. So I don't like cooking because it stresses me out. But I think so that's why I've always like gravitated to baking. I'm like, if I follow the instructions, it's going to work. Yeah. And I think over time in my career, I've had to evolve and get outside of my own, like, I really like structure. I like to have a plan. I like to have an agenda for a meeting. I like to have a strategy. I like to have a report at the end. And I don't think that everyone likes that, and it doesn't always work, right? Like you have to understand your circumstances, what you're trying to accomplish. And I think that I've learned that I have to be a lot more flexible, because one way is not the only way of doing things. So I actually had the opportunity to help lead a large committee for our Provost strategic planning process, and I had great plans going in. I was like, here's how we're going to like structure the meetings, and here's what our outcomes might look like. I'm going to give all this background information. And I really had to let go, which was kind of hard, but luckily I have a couple of really great mentors. My supervisor is incredible. There's other leaders on campus that I could kind of go to and bounce off ideas and say like, I had one meeting, and just based on what people want to talk about, I think I got to throw everything away and really think about and listen to what people were saying they needed, and let this evolve differently. So it's a little bit more like cooking dinner than baking, which I'm perhaps less comfortable with, but it will be more effective. It was definitely more effective than if I had clung to my plans, because that's not the kind of leader I want to be. Yeah. I don't think it's as effective. So
that's fantastic. Love it.
Brody, you just throw in the extra stuff, right? That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would.
More chocolate chips. Let's go. More blueberries. It's going to be fine. Ratios be damned. Let's go.
I mean, when you're cooking dinner, you sometimes will have all the ingredients you're supposed to have, and then you're like, you get into the spice cabinet, you're like, oh, I don't have that. So then you have to improvise. You have to find something different.
Well, and for me, like, I can't get 3 separate dishes to all be done at the same time. Like, my husband's amazing at this. And I'm like, wait, but the veggies are not done, but this is getting cold. And I think, like, again, with this, when I was thinking about this particular committee, like, I was like, all right, this is great. I've got a timeline for when I'm going to start writing the final report and when it's going to be done and when everybody gives input. Yeah, that I think it was also helpful to have a sense of humor about it, because a couple of the mentoring conversations I had with people, they kind of laughed at me and they're like, I really like your effort. I was like, okay, you're right.
It's like the good job,
good gumption.
Yeah, it's like the good job, good effort kid in the NBA Finals, Kevin. Good job, good effort. After they lose,
you did it. Kristy, you were a D3 soccer player in college.
I was, yes.
And when you look at your day-to-day now in academic affairs, dealing with complex policy, diverse stakeholders, how much of that D3 soccer player still shows up in how you manage and work with your team?
I think there's connections all over the place. I think being some form of athlete has always been a part of my identity. I played soccer just until a few years ago, until I started getting afraid of really hurting myself. Yeah. But I still run and do all kinds of other things. But I think college athletics is an incredible way to figure out really quickly how to prioritize, how to manage your time, how to get a lot accomplished, how to focus. And that's to say nothing of like how to work with a team, how to listen to a coach and learn from a coach, like all of those things that a college athlete has to do prepare you for pretty much anything. Like I think I don't always think people understand what that looks like. And I look at our student athletes now, like I played D3, so the pressure was not the same. And I'm now at a D1 institution and looking at, oh my gosh, the accomplishments of our student athletes who have insanely high GPAs, who are doing amazing research with faculty and are still like winning conference championships. I'm amazed at what they've accomplished and they're like 20. So, but I do think like all of those skills, athletes just learn really quick because you have to figure out how you're going to go to practice and train and travel and miss class and still do well. So, yeah.
One of my favorite jobs of all time was being the faculty athletics rep at the University of Southern Indiana. You can dig me, nice. But I mean, I did that 11 years, and student athletes were the best. I mean, they just really, in most instances, they were the highest achievers. They were able to kind of sort all of that out, the brutal schedules with prioritization of time. You had to talk to faculty because you were missing class, right? So they're developing relationships with faculty.
Yep.
There's a lot we can learn from that for sure.
Yeah.
So you take vacation time to camp. You hike with your family all over Colorado in the West. Super fun. And you have a goal to visit a new national park every year. What's the new national park this year?
I think we're doing we're going to South Dakota. So I think we're going to stay in Custer State Park, and then I think Badlands we're going to. So I think that's the plan for this year. So,
So when you're out in a tent, right, completely unplugged from email, campus politics, what happens to your perspective on your day job? Like, what does like wilderness give back to you?
Oh, so much. I think perspective on, I think just a sense of perspective on my smallness in the world, but also the impact that I can have. So it's kind of a little bit of both of like, okay, how does the work that I do fit into the I don't know, fit into how it can help this institution, I guess. Yeah. But I think a lot of it is also just kind of balance and perspective and making sure and remembering how to be present. Honestly, I think that's a lot of it too, is, when we're out camping, camping is a lot of work. So there's always constant, there's a lot going on, but then there's also a lot of time to just like sit and enjoy or sit on a river or hike. And I think I can be really present at those times. And I think that helps me when I come back to work and, I'm dealing with the inbox, the payment via a very full inbox and thinking about like, okay, well, it helps me prioritize what's important because I can only focus on one thing at a time. If I'm out camping and just enjoying being in nature, that helps ground that ability to stay present that I think I can bring back to work as much as possible.
The interactions we've had, whether that was in Albuquerque or in the LinkedIn sphere that we've connected on, or even here today, you always strike me as such a positive person that drives things forward. And so you're working in a field, and we're working in a field that the financial headwinds, the shifting demographics, the public skepticism, it feels like a pretty steep uphill climb. What keeps you optimistic about the future of our profession and field?
I do my best to try and make sure that, like in my role, I'm not talking with students on a daily basis. Right. But I do my best to try and make sure that I go to see their work, whether that is every year there's our School of Music does a performance that is open to like administration and others on campus. It's amazing because I get to see the students do the thing that we are just in the background trying to make sure they can do. Or if it's like we have a big research showcase, going and seeing the research that they're doing is unbelievable. It makes me feel like, what was I doing in college? It sure was not. That's amazing. Seeing our athletes compete, like I think that helps ground all of the noise and the circumstances that we're working within right now. That's what we're doing, and making sure that I can see evidence of that. Part of what I like about being in administration is like, I want to be behind the scenes trying to make sure that the students and the faculty can be the rock stars and shine and have the experiences that we want them to have. And I'm in the background kind of like helping make sure that is as possible, that's possible for everybody. So I think like not losing sight of our students, being able to see evidence of that is what's important. And that helps me when I start feeling overwhelmed by like whatever the Chronicle puts in my inbox every morning.
Yeah, that knowledge is power, but it can also be pretty depressing.
I know, yeah.
It can be. Hey, this hour's been flying, so I think it's time for the lightning round.
Lightning round.
I know you were not ready for the graphic. Like that was
No,
amazing.
I was not.
Yeah.
Brody, you kicking us off?
What's the absolute best national park you've visited so far?
Oh, I don't want to pick.
If you could throw shade towards Idaho, it would help us from the beginning of the show, So like, let's go. More Idaho hate here.
I haven't been to a national park in Idaho, but I have camped there, and it is incredible. So I hope that they start listening. I think, let's see, last year we went to Sequoia National Park in Central California, and I was last there about 20 years ago, and both times it's just mind blowing seeing. You can't understand how big those trees are, and people are like, trees? Really? You're gonna go like drive to California to look at trees? Yes, they're incredible. So it is an amazing national treasure, and it stands out.
Agreed.
That's awesome.
What is your go-to baked good when you need to stress bake?
A skillet cookie, just a cast iron skillet. And then like you can kind of do like kitchen sink, like if I've got like M&Ms and chocolate chips and walnuts and whatever all go in, and then you can have that. You cut it up like a pie, and you just put whipped cream on top of it, and you eat it like pieces of pie hot out of the oven.
Wow. I did not have you on this episode to be so hungry after we finished. I am starving.
Sorry.
What's the best concert you've ever seen in Colorado?
Oh gosh. I'm trying to I'm honing in on it's Red Rocks. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to say. Maybe Sylvanesso. We saw, Sylvanesso. What? She was like wearing this. First of all, the weather's beautiful. If you go to Red Rocks, there's like a 50-50 chance that there's going to be a fast thunderstorm throughout your time there. So there was not this time. The weather was perfect. And she was wearing this like giant thing. She looked like a cupcake made out of tutus and bouncing all over the stage, and the crowd was great. Like Red Rocks is amazing. So if you haven't had a chance to go there, it should be on everyone's concert bucket list. That one stands out.
I saw Guster at Red Rocks in summer of 2021, and we did get that massive rainstorm right before. So you missed the opening act because it is literally just monsoon. And so we stayed in the car, and then the line was super long, but totally worth it. Just an amazing venue. What a great venue.
It is. Yes.
All right. We have a true or false in our lightning round today. True or false, being a referee on the soccer pitch is easier than facilitating a university meeting?
Which soccer pitch?
5-year-olds.
Oh, that's harder because the parents, that wins for sure.
That's amazing.
The parents, it's really funny. Both of my kids play sports, and you start seeing these emails that come out to the parents, and one of them, no matter what they're playing or who they're playing for, it's like how can parents not be jerks on the sidelines? Because I think there's a weird thing that happens when parents watch their kids play sports, and I think it needs a little bit of coaching to the parents. So I'll give it to the referee for 5-year-olds there.
Wow, fantastic! If your administrative career had a walk-up song, what would it be?
Oh, that's a great one.
Oh,
I know that's a hard one.
I know. And this is one of those things, like when I go into a meeting and somebody's like, we're going to do icebreakers, I'm like, I'm deer in headlights. Okay. I'll just mention one that's been on my playlist. It's called Can't Hold Us. And it's by this artist. She's from Zambia. Her name is Sampa the Great. Very random pick. We've got a really great indie rock radio station, and I keep hearing it on there. And that it's a very good pump up, positive, no barriers, no boundaries kind of song. So I'll go with that.
That's great.
Did she just hit you with a song you didn't know?
I have not heard it.
I know.
I'll send it to you after.
It feels like the Carrie Kincannon episode all over again.
Yeah.
Where I just sat here and you guys talked about artists the whole time that I didn't know. All right.
I did know Sylvanesso, right? Like, so there we go. And I love Sylvanesso.
Yay.
Fantastic.
I could feel that vibe, but I knew that you didn't know that one. Last one on my end. Best piece of professional feedback you ever received that you didn't want to hear at that time.
Oh, there's a few things that have stood out. I think, and many of them are from my current supervisor, who's an amazing mentor. I think one of them, I was kind of waffling about, like, should I go this route? Should I go that route? What if people do this? What if people do that? And she goes, square your shoulders and go for it. You know what you're doing. And I was like, okay. And I think some of it was just like kind of some of it was about confidence and just, me feeling really new in the role and wanting to make the right call on something, and her recognizing and trusting my ability to do so and just kind of calling me out on it was helpful. So actually I have a little post-it on my desk that just says square your shoulders and go for it. So whenever
Love it.
I'm too long to make a decision or diving in too deep or overthinking something, I look at that, and that can be helpful.
That's great. Love it.
Hey, thank you so much for being on the show today. The hour flew by.
It did.
And on my end, I hope it's not another 5 years before our paths cross. And I'm just so glad that you said yes to being on this journey with Brody and I.
Yeah,
thank you so much. This has been really fun. This is a great Friday morning meeting. I love it.
Yeah. Love it. Great to meet you, Kristy. Yeah.
You too. Thank you.
Keep on listening. Keep on traveling. Love all of that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
talk to you soon. Bye.
Oh, geez. I'm producing today, and I thought I just kicked her out completely. I'm just losing my mind over here, folks. Brody, like, how much fun?
So fun.
I know.
I love it when our guests bring almost as much energy as we do.
Yeah. That's true. But I will say, so many answers. I appreciate how thoughtful Kristy is in her response. Like, sometimes you get on these, and I've done some podcasts recently where it just feels like I'm jumping to answer as quick as I can, because you don't want it to be like, oh gosh, he doesn't know the answer to that one. But I appreciate the thoughtfulness in some responses. And I will say, this is probably the most hungry I've been after an episode ever.
And she tried to fix writing, which is awesome. Like, I love it.
Man, I could not believe you threw that question at her.
I think it's
because we've been talking about this an awful lot lately, and like I figured it was coming for a Just Us episode here soon, but you threw that in there, and I was like, well, if she solves it, then we don't have to talk about it ever again.
That's right. I mean, That's good. Read more, kids. That's the answer.
That's right. We got to get to our top three, which is also going to make us hungry, which is our top 3 summer treats. Brody, do you have a 3 in mind for you?
Yeah, we were talking about this because ice cream, right? I love ice cream. So I'm going to cheat. I'm going to give 4, like Dairy Queen. Come on. Peanut butter parfait, banana split. Like, I was locked into those. I mean, the peanut butter parfait is so delicious and so bad for you, but I love it. There was a great custard place in DeKalb when I worked at Northern Illinois University. Ding. And yeah, very good. And they had a sundae called the Black Forest Sundae, and it was hot fudge and then the cherry pie filling on top. Like, I could drink cherry pie filling out of the can, but now they've put it on a hot fudge sundae. Let's go. And then my last favorite place is Jean's here in town in Bloomington Normal. They do this great strawberry lemon soft serve twist, and I dip it into the cherry and then So I have the hard shell. Oh my God, just great. Those are my 3. Slash.
All right. So I have 3, and these are ones that hit me is really from that time frame of like the 90s, right? Like that I remember just really enjoying a sweet treat. The orange sherbet push treats. Do you remember this? Like this is like the toilet paper holder that had ice cream. Yeah. You pushed it up. The closest thing I've come in flavor, and I think they still have it, but it does not taste the same. The closest thing I've come in flavor is actually from the Varsity in Atlanta. They're frosted orange, and you can get that when you're in the Atlanta airport. Get their frosted orange. It is spot on to that taste, that feeling, that moment. From Dairy Queen, same family here. And I was thinking about this because my kid, Braden, he loves the Misty slush that they have. And
God.
But I don't, the blue raspberry one. But I was like, I love that as a kid too, but it was called something different. So I had to look it up. And when I grew up, it was called Mr. Misty's. And so that's what it was. And they switched the name, and I didn't know that. I had to look that up. And then the last thing, and this is going to be weird, an ice cream sandwich. I love a good ice cream sandwich. Now, I will say, I do enjoy undressing the ice cream sandwich, where I will take the chocolate layer off and then just put the ice cream in a little bowl and then eat it that way. I'm like doing the Oreo thing where you twist. I know, right? Like
that sounds so dirty too.
I didn't know any other way to say that. Like, what are you going to say? You strip off the chocolate? Like, no, you undress the ice cream sandwich, I guess. I don't know, but it was delicious.
You're weird, man.
Thank you. And listen, I do think we have a different energy when it comes to Friday.
Yeah, I guess
Friday,
that may be
for
true.
Sure.
Oh, settle down, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Hey, that's it for this edition of the Pickup Meeting. We hope all of your meetings, whether formal or pickup style, are as fun and as meaningful as this one. Until next time, gang, let's just do good and be nice. How about it?